Yeah, hey guys, and welcome back. Good to have you guys back in the studio for sure. You haven't missed much, I'll tell you. This has been the weather pattern over the last couple of days, are these bubble up showers and thunderstorms. We started completely sunny today, and then you get the heating of the day. We've got a tremendous amount of instability out there, and that has created a pretty lit up radar here as we go throughout the evening. So you can see right now, in terms of warnings, nothing severe right now. There is a pretty strong cell. I'll show you in a second. Still some ongoing flooding out in Lake and northern Geauga County from earlier storms. Good news is this cell is south of you near Huntsburg. Getting ready to head into Orwell here shortly. Trumbull over towards Ashtabula County, but it's out of Lake County right now. Off towards the west, this line moving into the greater Cleveland area is weakening. The outflow from it way out ahead. Still some rain, some lightning strikes bring things inside. But this is a storm that is very close to severe limits. I would get inside for this one. Look at all the lightning with this. Also seeing some hail. I was looking at another radar showing the hail near Homer now. This cell is pummeling areas near Lodi. What you're looking at is some very heavy rain. May see some gusty winds with that as well. The line extends down towards the south. Ashland starting to wane in intensity, heavier down towards the south of you. Rainfall and lightning going to be the two big issues with this. We've already seen some very heavier rainfall amounts. Big picture looks like this. We're not done yet, but we do have a frontal boundary that will approach over the next couple days. We'll take you through the shower and thunderstorm chances and some relief for our 4th of July weekend. We've got it all coming up. Jake?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. We'll focus on that word relief coming soon. Well, now to a tragic story out of Berea today. We've now learned a father and son have died while attempting to swim in an area of Wallace Lake where swimming is not permitted. Brandon Simmons joins us now with more details on what happened. Brandon, just an awful tragedy.
Yeah, these stories have happened more than once this year, and it's awful every time we have to do one. For those of you not familiar with Wallace Lake, it's an area here in the Metro Parks here in Berea, and they have a roped off area that's designated for swimming right here behind me, but there are other areas further south that people use to fish, boat, and do other things, and that's where yesterday's incident happened. Yesterday evening, 37-year-old Veniamin Lazitsky was out fishing with his 6 children on the other end of the lake when they attempted to swim in what's a non-designated swimming area. 4 of the children were able to make it to safety, but Lazitsky, one of his sons, and a daughter didn't make it out. The father and his 10-year-old son, Luke, both died, and his 11-year-old daughter is still in the hospital this evening. Now, unfortunately, we've seen several water safety accidents already this year, and as we head into the holiday weekend, experts are reminding people to follow the rules, whether headed to a pool or lake, and make sure both you and especially the kids are properly trained before getting in.
It's important that our kids are safe and water competent. Again, when we're looking at folks entering the water, we want to make sure they can enter water that's above their head, that they can turn and look for an exit and be able to swim to that exit to get themselves to safety.
Now, some other quick tips: always swim in groups. Designate someone to be the, quote, water watcher so that there's no confusion about who is on dry land, paying attention to everyone who's in the water. And of course, only swim in areas that are designated for swimming, preferably where there are also lifeguards present at the pool or lake. Now, obviously, we know due to lifeguard shortages this season, there are places that normally would have a guard but don't always have one this year. So make sure you pay attention to that before you go out. And of course, coming up at 6 on What Matters Most, I'll have a few more tips for those of you who plan to go out on the water this season.
And there will be many of us. Brandon Simmons live this afternoon on What's New. Brandon, thanks.
Well, now on your feet at 5, Lake Erie provides drinking water for more than 11 million people, and it also generates billions of dollars for cities along its shores. So today, a group of businesses are pushing lawmakers to recommit efforts to fight Lake Erie's green monster. That's the toxic algae bloom that forms on the water in the summer months. Mark Namick joins us from the waterfront, or actually you're in the newsroom now, to give us a little chat about it. We do have those storms out there, so we let you come in. First of all, explain what this green monster is. I know we're talking about, different things than baseball.
Yeah, this is not the Fenway Park in Boston's green monster. The one that we're talking about is larger and more dangerous to people and to businesses. Now, this forms when algae grows and chokes off the oxygen from the lake, kind of kills the fish. It mucks up boaters. I know Jay can talk about that as well. Fishermen are forced to go out further. Now, the most famous green monster was in 2014. That's in the Western Basin near Toledo. It was so big and toxic, it forced officials to put a 3-day don't drink the water order in. That affected more than 400 people in the area. And that got the attention of environmentalists and lawmakers to cut off the source. Now, what makes this grow, Betsy, is the phosphorus or the fertilizer runoff from farms, and there are more than 4,600 farms just in western Ohio alone.
Well, keep in mind the Maumee River comes all the way from Indiana, so you have multiple states that are pouring there into Lake Erie, and of course we're getting from the other lakes too. All right, how has Ohio and other states made progress in fighting the algae blooms?
Yeah, the 2014 green monster forced officials in Michigan, here and in Ontario, to really set up priorities to try to reduce that phosphorus runoff to about 40% of what it was, the idea being that this would limit those large algae blooms. But unfortunately, we are falling short of that goal, which is why this network of businesses got out there and they're trying to talk it up.
Okay, so what about this year's outlook for the algae bloom? Has it started? Is it expected to be bad?
Thanks to those lighter than normal spring rains, so a lot of people in Parma are probably happy about that. They didn't have the basement flooding that they always get. And with that less runoff, there is less phosphorus feeding the bloom, so they expect this to be smaller. Tomorrow, the federal agency that oversees and monitors the blooms are going to put out their official prediction. Expect that to be about midway, 5 or 6 on its 10-point index. Betsy?
Well, we always say Lake Erie is our great lake, and part of what makes it so great is that we all have access to it, so we all need to take care of that access as well. Mark Namick in the newsroom for us. Thank you.
Well, if you've been feeling the pain at the pump, trust me, you're not alone. The national average for a gallon of regular grade gasoline is now all the way up to $3.15. Our Lindsay Buckingham talked with experts about why prices are soaring and what we should expect here in Ohio.
For the first time in 7 years, gas prices in Ohio nearing $3 a gallon.
It's real high. It affects a lot.
And with those steep prices, it's hard to get where you want to go.
$2 ain't gonna take you very far at all.
According to Jim Garrity with AAA's East Central Division, there's a good reason for the climb.
Is the result of crude oil prices, especially because crude oil is, more than 50 cents of every dollar you spend at the pump.
But believe it or not, traveling is at an all-time high.
And then we're looking at a near record-breaking amount of people who are going to be hitting the road. Almost 44 million across the country. A record amount of Ohioans. These gas prices aren't deterring them.
There's another cause for concern: truck drivers getting the fuel to the pumps. Ellen Huth with Hamrick Truck Driving School in Medina says it's been a big problem.
I had 26 different companies come in to recruit for their companies. They are all of them are in need of drivers.
Are we headed for a gas shortage? AAA says it's possible, but it wouldn't last long, and it's normally not market-wide. And if you're wondering when the gas prices will drop, trend experts say it all depends when the crude oil prices go down. But as the pandemic has shown us, anything can happen. For now, these prices will stick around for at least this summer. In Cleveland, Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
Wow. All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. So that's not great news, but this next story, we thought we'd put a pick-me-up after that one because we're all a little depressed after those gas prices. And I really think that this story is going to do the trick. NFL.com's Mark Ross every year puts out his list of the most complete rosters in the NFL, 1 to 32. Ross has the defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs ranked at number 3. He then slots the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady at number 2.
What?
This is the good part. I know, right? What? Our very own Cleveland Browns are ranked number 1.
No.
I just couldn't believe this when I read it. Ross writes, this has been building now for several years. He adds that this team is loaded with Pro Bowl talent from top to bottom and says there's really no hole on this team. He makes point that the best offensive line in the NFL last year was right here in Cleveland. Then he mentions the best dynamic duos at both wide receiver and running back. And, of course, Baker Mayfield. And now, After a much improved defensive offseason for the Browns, they signed free agent Pro Bowler Jadeveon Clowney, picked up a couple of other big free agents on the defensive side. Plus, remember that draft class, Bets, was heavy on the defensive side of the football. And now look, potential means you haven't done anything yet, right? So this roster has great potential. And it's just one man's ranking systems. But when you read his rationale, Bets, it's hard to argue that the Bucs or the Chiefs have more talent top to bottom than our Cleveland Browns.
I know.
It's a pinch me moment.
Little goose pimples. I had to laugh, though, because he says, this has been building for years. It's what we've been dreaming about for decades.
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah.
It's nice to see somebody catching on.
It really is incredible. And when you look at the rankings and you see them all and you see all the logos, and at the top of the list you see the Browns, because normally the Browns are at the bottom of that list.
What?
Let's just hope that Mark is right, and at the end of the year, the rankings bear out what he wrote just a couple of days ago.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
I mean, you got to win games.
We tend to do.
You've got to win games.
It's all right, though. Still ahead for us, probably Jay's favorite story of the day.
It's about the Robo call crackdown. There is new technology that major providers will need to have in place in less than 24 hours to stop the surge. I can't wait.
I want to stand and applaud right now.
Yeah.
I do. Plus, speaking out, we're going to hear from Britney Spears' sister, Jamie, and her thoughts on Britney's conservatorship battle and that big speech she made at the hearing just a couple of days ago. That's all coming up ahead in Pop Break. And Matt Wintz, with the building heat comes
thunderstorms. All right. I don't get a ding for that or anything.
Ding, 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 ding.
I appreciate that. Look at the picturesque storms across greater Cleveland area. Not a good day to dine outside because we've got that line that will continue to advance eastward. And your outdoor dining forecast tonight, it's going to remain muggy. Temperatures holding in the 80s, 70s where you've seen rain. There's an end in sight to this pattern. We'll bring it to you next.
Well, everybody, it's Tech Tuesday here on What's New. The pandemic caused online sales to skyrocket. Groceries, cars, even homes. Check this out. Home prices surged nearly 15% in April. And according to the Case-Shiller National Home Price Index, Cleveland, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Seattle all saw their largest annual gains ever. And many buyers are doing it online. According to NBC, 2 major home builders recently piloted new programs where buyers can choose, design, and finance a new home online, and then they just put it in their shopping cart.
Really what our industry needs to do is catch up with, the world of e-commerce and what every other industry is doing. We've only done the to-be-built reservation system for the last 6 weeks, and in total, we've seen over 1,500 shopping cart entries, and probably something close to a 60% conversion.
It's just incredible. It's just like you're shopping Amazon or something. Taylor Morrison Homes, they're not alone. The Pulte Group just launched a similar 100% virtual home buying program. They also have sales reps following up with the buyer in case any changes need to be made. And the one thing that still varies is the closing process. Some states will allow you to do it online, some don't, but all agree that the technology is moving quickly, and even the closings will likely be virtual sooner rather than later.
That's a great idea. It's a great idea. Why not? All right, this story is really for everyone because we all get them. As Betsy said moments ago, there may finally be an effective tool in ending all of those horrible robo and scam calls. Here's how it works. According to CNET, as of tomorrow, every major voice provider in the U.S., that means your carrier too, including phone companies, will have to implement technology called Stir/Shaken. The program will require providers to verify where calls are coming from. Essentially, it verifies the call's origin and makes sure the information on the caller ID matches.
Phew.
So 2 things. A, let's hope it works.
Right.
B, what the heck took so long?
I have no idea. I hate the calls that look like it's from your area code.
Masking.
The first 3 numbers of your phone number, and you're like, it's
someone
gotta
I know.
be somebody.
Yeah.
It's Debbie from Cardholder Services again, or Rachel,
Or someone selling you a extended car warranty.
Car warranty on a
worst.
car that you've never owned, or not good.
They think I have 1,000 cars. I get a call a day.
I just always wonder, what Matt Wentz is going to be thinking about all these robocalls, because of course, folks are always concerned about the weather. I had pitched a long time ago, if we just go to weather now, I pitched a long time ago that we should begin like a weather line or something where we would call people, and that quickly got nixed.
Right. That's great. Well, you had it forwarded to my extension, and that's, when I unplugged my phone.
Thanks for handling all those, by the way.
Good idea. It's a great practical joke.
Yeah. That was when I was an intern here, and then, hopefully things have changed over time.
Your weather word sort of ties into that story.
Sure.
I always try to do that. Filter.
Oh, very good.
So I don't know how the world.
Good luck with that.
I don't know how that works in with weather.
We've got it for sure.
But you always nail it.
I'm already thinking of ways to fit that in. Actually, I have no idea until we get over there. But yeah, some rough weather right now. Betsy, you and I were talking during the break about that Medina County storm. It got warned, so there's a severe thunderstorm warning for that. I think that storm's at its peak right now. Eventually, that'll kind of rain itself out as the outflow gets away from it. But we've got more storms, and I think the best intensity, right? You're looking for a forecast, not what's happening now. I think the best intensity in terms of these storms over the next half hour is going to be centered down towards the south. The reason why we've got an outflow boundary coming down. Hasn't really rained yet, Holmes County, areas of southern Wayne County. So look for storm intensity to head up there. Rest of us starting to deal with some weakening trends to these. Still severe thunderstorm warning, though, till 5:45 Medina County. This is a cell we talked about earlier, just tweeted about it as well. Lots of lightning with us. In fact, last 15 minutes had 67 lightning strikes within this as we put that lightning filter on here. I thought that would be a nice time to use that for sure. And you can see a lot of heavy rain with that, even some small hail. A lot of that hail falling is a lot larger, but then it melts because it's just so darn warm here. So this hail could be bigger, but given the warm temperatures, it's actually a good thing. I would keep an eye on these storms. Pretty good lightning south of Vermilion. That's our second Vermilion in northeast Ohio, not the one out towards the lakeshore. That's down in Ashland County. We'll see an uptick in that. Rain's really falling apart. Keeping an eye on that Tribe game. You can see some rain heading into areas of Ashtabula County. Heavy rain and lightning, the 2 main concerns this evening. Not a huge severe weather setup. We've had 1 to 3 inches stretches already. Lake County and pretty heavy rain in Lorain County as well we'll be keeping an eye on. But the pattern remains the same. We actually have the remnants of Tropical Storm Danny getting thrown in the mix. Lots of rain off towards our north and the west. Eventually that will sink south. Upper air patterns starting to change. We've got this lobe of cool air. It's been record hot out west, right? But it's been record cold down in areas in New Mexico. Things balance out, right? Eventually that cooler air is going to kind of smash this warm air and put it away for us. That's the good news. Where you had the rain, we're in the 70s and 80s. It's still thick. We're in the mid 90s down in the south and the east. Hopefully we can get some rain to give you some relief, but those dew points remain on the high side. National Design Mart hour by our forecast. Everything kind of fading tonight. Tomorrow's a little bit different. We're going to see rain chances in the morning and midday tomorrow as that frontal boundary approaches. Models kind of latching onto some storms midday and then again in the afternoon. Bottom line, we've got a real good chance of some rain as we get into the afternoon tomorrow, especially muggy meter. We've been showing this all week. Look at this. We get comfortable air just in the nick of time for that 4th of July holiday. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Look at the cooler temperatures. 83 tomorrow, then 70s for 3 days straight. Leftover showers will be scattered around here through Saturday, though. We can't clear it out until your 4th of July. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that, and then we're back to the heat. We'll be back with more after the break.
I am.
It is time right now to get caught up on the latest from the world of entertainment. Britney Spears, very much in the news. Her sister now speaking out on the ongoing conservatorship battle. Kim Kardashian's shapewear line is making its way to Tokyo. And a classic kids TV show is coming to the big screen. Kiara Cotton has all the details in your Pop Break.
Because I support my sister. I love my sister, always have, always will, as long as she's happy.
Jamie Lynn Spears took to social media yesterday to share her thoughts on the latest development surrounding her sister Britney Spears' conservatorship. In a roughly 2-minute long spiel, the 30-year-old actor says that she's made the very conscious decision to participate in Britney's life as only her sister, and that her happiness is her primary concern.
I don't care if she wants to run away to a rainforest and have a zillion babies in the middle of nowhere, or if she wants to come back and dominate the world the way she has so many times before. Because I have nothing to gain or lose either way.
The Zoe 101 star ended the video saying that she loves her sister and asked fans and supporters to continue praying for them. Switching gears now to a dream come true. Kim Kardashian's shapewear line Skims has inked a partnership with Team USA. The mom and entrepreneur announced yesterday that the brand will provide the official underwear, loungewear, and pajamas for the team at this year's Tokyo Games. The opening ceremony for the Olympics is set to take place July 23rd, right here on NBC. And an old favorite is headed to the big screen. And truth is, it might not be big enough. In the official trailer for Clifford the Big Red Dog, Emily Elizabeth, played by Darby Camp, is gifted her beloved red dog as she's struggling with bullies at school. With the drop of a single tear, Clifford is magically transformed into the lovable giant we all know and love. But caring for such a big pup certainly comes with challenges. Clifford the Big Red Dog, the movie, will be released in theaters September 17th.
No, that doggy!
This dog is killing me.
I love Clifford. I grew up watching the show and reading the books, but I have to tell you, the Skims thing aside, I am excited for the Olympics. Like from track to gymnastics, I need to see it all.
I think we all do. I think at this point, because it was supposed to happen every 4 years, and if you're a big fan of the summer games, and I know the swimming and the gymnastics are hugely popular, we missed that last year.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. So we've had to wait an extra year, but my alarms are set for the big events that I'm going to be watching.
I'll even wake up at the crack of dawn to watch gymnastics.
And it's almost like we get a twofer because we're going to have the Summer Olympics now, and then in February.
Yes.
Bam.
Right after. Yeah, I think they're going to be 7 months apart. It's the first time that's happened since they used to go.
Split them.
Yeah, they used to go in the same year every 4 years, and then they staggered them, so now they're every 2.
Look,
you're not old enough to
You're
remember
informing
that.
me of new things here.
Yeah, back in the good old days. Back in the good old days.
Oh, Kara, thank you so much. But today's Worth the Watch is from our own backyard. As many of you know, the Jonas Brothers performed a pop-up concert outside the Rock Hall on Sunday night. Well, while driving around town, they surprised a fan when they spotted her wearing a Jonas Brothers t-shirt. Check this out.
A nice shirt.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. Can I?
Yes. Whatever you want.
Oh my God.
Take a selfie from there?
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess. Can I come closer to you?
Yeah, of course.
Aww.
Come on closer.
Oh my God. Okay.
Your dog is very cute. Hi, Sonny.
By the way,
what's up, dude?
1,000.
Can you imagine? Like, what was going through her head? Like, that's actually the Jonas Brothers. Well, the lucky fan snapped her selfie, and then they all went on their way. The brothers in town to film the Macy's 4th of July fireworks spectacular.
You know why she needed a selfie?
To prove that it actually happened.
Who's going to believe it? So I'm walking down down the road with my Jonas Brothers t-shirt on, and they pulled up in their car.
Can you hold this newspaper up for us, please? I mean, that's the way it goes.
Fantastic.
Awesome stuff.
Her
Love
heart
that.
was beating 1,000 times a minute.
And I think
I'm
it's
sure.
pretty cool on them that they decided to roll around town, too.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, next up for us here on What's New, we're talking about work burnout. Maybe you've felt it. Maybe you're feeling it now. Well, several companies are coming up with unique ways to help employees relax a little bit and even extending offers put in place during the pandemic.
And this news will surprise many bird lovers. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources is requesting all of us that have bird feeders take them down. Why? We'll tell you when What's New comes right back.
Ours is empty anyway.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And we begin at 5:30 with 3 things you need to know. Rescue teams in Florida continue their round-the-clock work, hoping to find survivors in the rubble of the collapsed condominium there. 6 days ago, part of a 12-story condominium collapsed. So far, 11 people have been found dead, but 150 are still unaccounted for. The cause still under investigation. However, a 2018 engineering review found major structural damage underneath the pool deck at the condo complex, failing repairs to concrete in the underground parking garage as well. However, the board president sent a letter 3 months ago saying the damage in the garage had gotten worse since the time of the first examination. Today, the White House announcing that President Biden and the First Lady will visit the site on Thursday.
We've learned more details about an incident that killed a father and son yesterday. Veniamin Lazinski was fishing on Wallace Lake in Berea with his 6 kids when they attempted to swim in an area of the lake that is designated as non-swimming. 4 kids made it out, but Lazinski, one of his sons and a daughter, did not. The father and 10-year-old Luke both died. His 11-year-old daughter is still in the hospital. As we head into the holiday weekend, experts are reminding everyone to follow the rules, make sure adults and kids are properly trained and wearing life jackets.
And Betsy, gas prices continue their rise. According to the Lunderberg survey, the national average for a gallon of regular grade gas is now all the way up to $3.15. That's the highest it's been in 7 years. It's 2 cents up from just 2 weeks ago, 93 cents up from this time a year ago. Rising crude oil prices and a shortage of truck dock drivers are to blame. And where it stops right now, no one knows.
Yeah.
But some are saying that the national average could get as high as $3.25 to $3.50 a gallon.
That would
very, very pricey. And with that, we welcome you back to What's New on this Tuesday afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us, along with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford.
How are you doing? You had quite the weekend.
I did.
Corey, his son, was in the Olympic trials. That's kind of a random thing, right? If you've not been following the story, and suddenly now we're saying, yeah, Jay's son was trying out for the Olympics. I mean, that's one of those like, what kind of moments. But how are you doing after all of that?
I'm doing wonderfully. I will say this, that I've been blessed to have the opportunity to cover every major sporting event in the world. Mm-hmm. Super Bowls, World Series, Olympic Games. Everything, you name it, I've been there to cover it. Sunday's Olympic trial finals was the most enjoyable sporting activity I've ever had in my entire life. So it didn't work out the way Corey had hoped. He had hoped to be in that final 3. Mm-hmm. It just, Betsy, what drives home to me is how difficult it is to make an Olympic team of any kind. It is so difficult. And I couldn't be more proud of Corey. He retired a year ago because he felt the Olympics were going to be canceled. From that retirement, he came back. He worked harder than I've ever seen him work in his life. Yeah. He made the Olympic finals. He made the Olympic trials, then 24 jumpers. His first jump was a big one. It qualified him for the final 8. Mm-hmm. And in the final 8, it was 118 degrees at the time they came out on the track to first compete. Yikes. Then they postponed it until 8:30 local time. Yeah. And he didn't have his best day, but that's what separates the Olympic hopefuls from the Olympians. They have their best day, on that best stage. I couldn't be more proud of them.
We all are proud
and
of
we really
them.
enjoyed it. And also, I'm glad you brought it up because I really want to thank right now everybody for all of the support. Betsy, Matt, Stephanie, everybody with the show, everybody here at the station, and really countless folks that I can't reach out to and personally thank on social media. The support we felt and he felt during this last week, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And thank you all for all of your kind thoughts and wishes.
Well, we are
unbelievable.
Proud of him. I'm sure he's ready for a bit of a break now.
He is. He's in decompress
And
mode.
I think there's a lot of people who are ready for a break because our first top talker is work burnout. It is a real thing. According to an Indeed survey, 52% of respondents have dealt with burnout this year. That's up from 43% pre-pandemic. Millennials are the most affected, but the baby boomers show a 7% increase in burnout, followed by the Gen Xers. In all, 80% of respondents believe COVID is causing workplace burnout, and some companies are taking notice. According to the Washington Post, Mozilla, which produces the Firefox web browser, they're shutting down the entire company for a wellness week, which leads into the 4th of July weekend. This past January, the company also created a wellness day once a month. The entire company will get the day off.
Wow.
All 12 are scheduled for Fridays, so it basically turns into a 3-day weekend. Mozilla isn't the only company making changes. Companies like Pepsi, Verizon, and others are extending pandemic benefits like increased paid time off, child or elder care benefits, as well as embracing a flexible work schedule. This is definitely something a lot of folks are talking about. Another study found that 42% of people say they would look for a totally different job if the job required them to return to the office full time. 42%.
Wow, that's almost half.
Our entire business model is upended at this point in many instances.
And I'm wondering how it will affect like the commercial real estate market. So many of these companies that purchase and lease huge floors in these sky rises across the country, they have to be looking at that space now, wondering if it's obsolete.
Yeah.
Because if the workers don't come back to the office and they can do what they've done from home, which many of us proved we could, even us. If someone would have told me before the pandemic, you one day will do TV shows from your house, I would have said, yeah, and I want a pony for Christmas.
That's crazy. Well, actually, 72% of the respondents in the study said that they want more flexibility when returning to the office. So maybe a little bit of a hybrid approach is the way things are going to go.
Now, I'm surprised that number's so low, only 72%.
Yeah.
I would think 100%. Say, look, when we come back, we want a little more flexibility. And even, I know our company here is having those discussions and figuring out ways that post-pandemic, we can spend more time on wellness for self because it's important.
Yeah.
It's big. All right. As we just mentioned, we're now inside a month to the start of the Olympic Games. And I almost feel guilty because here on this program, we've spent a lot of time talking about my son. He's just one athlete. And I really, Betsy, wanted to take the opportunity to recognize the Northeast Ohio athletes that will be going to Tokyo. These 9 and one others that I'll tell you about in a minute all have huge Northeast Ohio ties. They will represent not just the United States, but Northeast Ohio here in Japan in less than a month. And here they are. And we'll go left at the top to right and then row 2. So they're at the very top of the screen, Clayton Murphy. He's an 800-meter runner, a tremendous chance to win a gold medal. Hunter Armstrong, a swimmer from this area, will represent Northeast Ohio. Adelaide Akia has made it in the shot put. Delonte Tiger Johnson is a whale of a boxer. He's got big medal hopes. Reggie Jagers there in the very middle of the screen there is a disc thrower, a very good friend of my son. He lived with him for a couple of years at the Olympic Training Center. He is from Solon High School and Kent State. Tremendous athlete, and let's wish him luck. Katie Nagat, the pole vaulter from the Cleveland area, had a personal best. I was in the stadium to watch that over the weekend. Such a lovely performer and a terrific young lady. Good luck to her as she chases gold. Lee Kiefer is a fencer with medal hopes. Nick Bruce in the BMX venue will chase a medal. And Jacob Wookie in archery hopes to bring back the gold. And then there's this guy. Does he look familiar? Kevin Love will be on Team USA, representing the United States and our very own Cleveland Cavaliers as the basketball team hopes to continue its domination in Olympic competition. Good luck to all of them. I really want to take a second to recognize these athletes because If anyone knows the sacrifice it takes, as I've watched my son, I know what it takes. These athletes have poured everything they have the last 4 years into this opportunity. Congratulations to all. Enjoy the moment. And good luck to you. We're all with you.
We're going to be following them. We'll let you know how they do and when they're going to be up and all that stuff. So we've got a lot of coverage planned for that.
We certainly do. Still ahead on What's New, a local contestant on The Bachelorette was asked a question about the possibility of leaving the Buckeye State. What was her answer and how did it go over? Well, I'm intrigued now. That's coming up in Clicking in Cleveland.
That's saying a lot. Then Northeast Ohio is experiencing a post-pandemic wedding boom. How some small businesses are dealing with the demand this popular season. One man who is in demand, that'd be Matt Wins. What's going on outside?
I'll tell you what, Betsy, still some rough weather across the area. Downtown Cleveland settled down. We get kind of the leftover kind of crud-looking clouds there. Some lightning. You saw that flashing off of a storm down to the south. We've got some boomers outside, and we have some electric storms as well. Radar right now lighting up like a Christmas tree from Medina all the way down towards areas of Holmes County. We've dropped the severe thunderstorm warning for this cell. Heavy rain and lightning in the Medina area. Down to the south, this is what I said we had to watch. Big old storm. There's hail, lots of lightning. We'll detail where that's going and how long this pattern lasts after the break.
Hey, yeah, I do. We are going to talk about Michael Allio and whether that man dodged the question about leaving Ohio. Yep.
Jay is playing back videos of when people got busted.
When scamming goes wrong.
The scamming goes wrong. He's over there giggling like crazy. Matt, I got to tell you what, this radar has been lit this afternoon. Yeah. Lots going on. The lightning is a big deal. If you have plans outside, friends, don't go out until that lightning threat has passed. But there are a lot of places getting the lightning and thunder right now, Matt.
Yeah, and it sounds generic. I mean, you've heard it a million times. When thunder roars, go indoors, because the lightning in these cumulonimbus clouds can strike outside of the storm some 10 to up to 20 miles at times. So if you hear any thunder, take it inside, as Betsy mentioned. And you're going to want to. Boy, some of the rainfall rates in some of these storms as well. Temperatures, this was the hottest day of the year for most of us. 93 Mansfield, ditto that in New Philly. Cleveland made it to 92. These were not records today, but, you know, par for the course. We averaged 2 90-degree-plus days in June. We just had our second, and I don't see any more month of June. What I overlaid on here, all these bright colors, that's the CAPE. That's the atmospheric energy that we have out there. These numbers were off the charts. You typically need about 1,500 to 2,000 to have a severe weather event. We were up over 3,000 today, so that atmosphere was just ready to go. You saw those clouds just lifting on up, and we still have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, a new one now issued for areas of Summit County, northeastern Wayne County as well, as this line continues to advance its way towards the east. So let's take you on a radar tour. Medina County, this cell is starting to weaken. That's the good news. It's starting to kind of be outflow driven, so we still have some heavier rain and lightning there. But Akron area, get ready for this. This is going to merge together here. Pretty heavy rain expected from Cuyahoga Falls, Stowe down towards the Akron, Barberton, and Portage Lakes area. Keep an eye on that. Lots of lightning with this. This has been our prolific lightning producer heading into areas of northern Holmes County now. 179 strikes in the last 15 minutes. That is something you just want to get inside and wait till that passes. Just some scattered activity off towards the north. Watching the Tribe game, obviously they have to get going early. I think we get some rain off of this one from the south. Once that clears, we should be okay to get that game started. Maybe a little bit late. Heavy rain, the big issue from here on out. We've had very heavy rainfall rates with this. That continues under this tropical air mass. Even the remnants of Danny from last night are just kind of adding moisture to this. But things will start to change. That's the good news. Here's your mugginess across the eastern half of the country. Look how it kind of gets squished down by Thursday. So we're feeling a little bit better. And then a refreshing air mass for much of the eastern half of the country for that 4th of July holiday. Yeah, it'll build back. It's going to be July around here. But in terms of the forecasts over the next couple days, your National Design Mart look ahead. Pretty good rainfall chances tomorrow. We do it all over again tomorrow. Some of those storms could be strong to severe. Thursday, we'll have storms down to our south. So we likely just get rain scattered around here on Thursday. Shouldn't be a washout. And then Friday, here's why we can't clear it out for the weekend. Little upper level low is just going to sit here. It's going to kick off showers Friday, maybe Saturday as well. Hopefully we'll get this thing out of here for Sunday. That's the plan right now. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Look at temperatures. We're in the 90s last 2 days. We're back into the 70s the next couple days. Rainfall chances all the way through Saturday. 4th of July, we dry us out, and then we do it all over again next week. More heat and humidity building back in. So enjoy that weekend. Jay.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Yeah, the 4th looks great. Let's hope it stays that way. Right now, it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. And for that, you know the drill. We bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Our first good afternoon of the day to you, Steph. How you doing?
Hi, Jay. I'm doing great. Hope you all are at home. And yeah, we were talking about the Ohio Department of Natural Resources advising the public to take down and clean bird feeders and bird baths. Yeah, you need to do it, at least for a good cleaning. This is because there's a mysterious disease that is blinding and sometimes killing birds in Ohio, mainly in central Ohio, but it's also been reported in the Youngstown area. Officials say clean those feeders and bird baths with a 10% bleach solution, and hopefully that'll take care of that. Now, Akron's Lock 3 is launching a new event this July, every Thursday night. This is in partnership with Jenny 107.3, and they'll have drinks, food, games, and alternative music all month long. The rest of the schedule for July has fitness classes every Tuesday, original bands on Wednesday, the classic Rock the Lock concert series with tribute bands on Friday, and of course those free outdoor movies. You can see that full schedule on WKYC.com. And on The Bachelorette, the question was bound to come up eventually. Is Akron's Michael Alio open to leaving Ohio for the love of Katie Thurston? She's from the Seattle area, mind you. Now, she told him she was wondering if he'd be ready to go elsewhere. We did not see him answer that question on camera. Instead, he thanked her for thinking about that, told her it's an important question, but that's it. No answer, at least not that we saw in the edit, as they say. Now, for what it's worth, we did not see him ask her if she would be interested in leaving her home either, Jay and Betsy, but she has kind of suggested that she would be open to that when talking with other people. Now, I think if you go on a show like this, you have to be open to moving. What do you two think about that?
I mean, you're going to be competing and smooching it up with a strange guy. I would think moving would be somewhere on the list of like possibilities of that.
Yeah, a lot of strange guys. So, yeah, I mean, if you're willing to do that, you're probably willing to move. I think it's telling that my guess, Stephanie, is, I know how these shows work, he answered it, but perhaps his answer might have been very telling as to what's going to happen when she gives out that final rose. So maybe, just hypothesizing here, his answer was, oh no, why would I leave the most gorgeous place in the world, Northeast Ohio, And then she probably rolled her eyes thinking, well, he's out. But
Well, that's what
they don't
I'm
want
saying.
us to know that.
But they did have a quite passionate kiss after that, though, Jay. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be like him to dodge the question, though.
That's what that show's all about. By the way, earlier in our tease, we were showing Bachelor video, and I don't know where they got this video, but they had video of Matt and I taking off our shirts. I don't know where they got that video, Matt.
Those are your audition tapes,
Clearly at the
right?
gym.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
I mean, you saw it, Bets. You saw it. Yeah, they didn't show our faces at least, thankfully.
I was washing my hair or texting or something at that moment.
I was washing my hair.
All right, coming up, this is officially wedding season. That's fitting, I guess. Demand is sky high, how some local entrepreneurs are keeping up with requests for help.
Plus, a once-denied dream comes true. We'll show how a surprise invitation sent to this sweet lady
I love this
not
story.
only made her day, but other women around her felt the love, too. This is so good.
Oh, it's a great story. No, love did not take a break during the pandemic, but of course some nuptials did. Many engaged couples in 2020 that had weddings planned had to scrap them, and I felt so badly for all of them. These things aren't cheap. But now, in many cases, these same couples are ready to say I do in 2021.
And that has vendors celebrating because they obviously are getting that business now, but now they are having to scramble too, just to keep up with the demand in this post-pandemic wedding boom. Our Lindsay Buckingham reports.
80 Cool started her own pop-up wedding business in 2018.
The whole concept around a pop-up wedding is where you get to have a beautiful over-the-top wedding for a fraction of the cost. And it's an all-inclusive package for everything except the reception.
In 2019, she had just 2 clients. By 2020, that number jumped to 40. And this year, 95.
95 weddings is 100% madness. I will tell you right now.
The way her business is designed, Katie can do 7 weddings in just one day.
So today we had 7 weddings, yes, 7.
All using the same venue. A real plus at a time when popular spots are booked solid through 2022 and beyond. So couples and planners are getting creative.
I had a wedding yesterday on a Monday, and it was incredible.
Photographer Charla Story is finding herself booked throughout the week, now that open weekend dates are essentially non-existent.
It's almost like having 3 different brides. You got your COVID rescheduled bride, your 2021 bride, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we can get back to life. Let's do this, and let's do it now, bride.
Engaged couples from 2019, 2020, and 2021 are competing for the same services. But with the rush comes some relaxed expectations. After 15 months of separation, the focus is not on tradition, rather on being together. Post-pandemic, our priorities have changed.
They just want to focus on what's important at that moment because you never know what could be taken away from you.
There are many changes within the wedding industry post-pandemic, but it's not just about people getting married on a weekday. Everything from food, cake, invitations, flowers, to even where people are getting married have been impacted. We'll have more for you tomorrow on What's New. I'm Lindsay Buckingham for 3 News.
Thank you very much. Next on What's New, a long-awaited dream come true. We're going to introduce you to this 70-year-old who's not letting her age stop her from a bucket list goal. This is the best story you'll hear today.
Then on What Matters Most at 6, a local school district has officially lifted its mask mandate for the next school year. We'll tell you what the deciding factor was in their policy update.
Hey, Al, I do. Testing 1, 2, good evening. I'm Russ Mitchell. Laura's on assignment. We begin with the weather tonight. Things are popping out there.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Hi, Sarah. How are you? I'm good.
It's like easy. What's the pressure? I'm here. 1 second. Check 1, 2, 3. Brandon's microphone. We're going to be using the stick mic this time as the live mic gave us issues in the first shot.
Right.
All right, it's the best story you'll hear today. It's our Show Us Something Good. Gwen Goldman finally got a chance to live out her dream. She wanted to be a Batgirl for the New York Yankees back in 1961. But Betsy, she was denied. Why? Because she was a girl. The now 70-year-old was the honorary Batgirl for the Yankees series opener against the LA Angels last night. General Manager Brian Cashman called her on Zoom on the 60th anniversary of her getting that rejection letter to tell her the big news: you're going to be our Batgirl.
Wow.
She got to do it.
I love that story so much.
It's the best story you'll hear today.
Definitely. And of course, the Yankees, sometimes people think that they're a little hoity-toity, but this proves they got
this moment,
heart too. Yeah, right?
It's okay to like the Yankees. And by the way, she looks great for 70.
Yeah, not bad at all. All right, I'm going to have an update on what's going on with the latest of the forecast with the storms coming up in just a minute as what matters most starts.
Right now.
Now at 6, drowning dangers. Another deadly swimming accident in a nearby lake has Metro Parks officials issuing a warning tonight. Also, avoiding algae.
So that we can connect the dots between what's happening in the field to what's happening in our water.
All eyes are on what lies beneath Lake Erie's waves and what can be done about it on land before it could impact the water supply. Clinging to hope.
Nobody's giving up hope here. Nobody's stopping. The work goes on, full force. We're dedicated to get everyone out of that pile of rubble.
As the hours tick, hope fades for finding survivors in the rubble of that collapsed Florida apartment building. We are live in Surfside with a new concern facing other buildings in that same area.